Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into a book with a pretty wild claim. That you have the power to heal yourself, to literally create a new future, and to tap into a reality that's, well, beyond your wildest dreams. We're breaking down the huge ideas in Dr. Joe Dispenza's Becoming Supernatural.
Just let that sink in for a second. What if the absolute worst thing that ever happened to you was actually the best thing? This one question, this is the key to unlocking everything in the book. It challenges us to see our biggest setbacks not as tragedies, but as catalysts for some really profound change. It's a massive idea, so let's see how Dispenza actually unpacks it.
And look, this isn't just some abstract philosophical idea. Dispenza lays this out as a practical, step-by-step manual. He's mixing ancient wisdom with some really cutting-edge neuroscience. And what's the goal? To show how totally ordinary people, people like you and me, can start doing some truly extraordinary things. All right, so before we can get to doing the uncommon, we first have to figure out what keeps us so darn stuck in the common, right? And the book points its finger at one main culprit, the fact that most of us are literally living in our past.
I mean, just think about your morning routine. If you wake up and the very first thing that pops into your head is a problem, your bills, your boss, that argument you had, you are literally starting your day by reliving your past. As this slide shows, you're putting your brain and your body straight into survival mode, when you could be in creation mode.
And this is exactly how it happens. It's a loop, a really vicious cycle. You start by thinking about your problems, which of course brings up memories of the past. Those thoughts then kick off familiar negative emotions, sadness, anxiety, frustration. And now your body is physically living in that past state. So from that place, what kind of future can you possibly create? Well, pretty much the exact same one, over and over again.
And if you repeat this cycle enough times, guess what? It becomes a habit. It becomes this automatic, unconscious program running in the background. You basically practice being stressed or unhappy so many times that your body now knows how to do it better than your conscious mind does. It's just running the show on complete autopilot.
So, how in the world do you break a cycle like that? Well, according to the book, the answer is actually really simple, but at the same time, it's incredibly profound. The key is to find the door out of that familiar past and just step into the pure, untapped potential of the present moment.
This image from the book just illustrates the goal perfectly, doesn't it? See how that person is standing right in the center, in the now? The tangled mess of the past is behind them. The unpredictable future is way out in front, but right here, in this sweet spot, none of that can touch them. In this moment, you are pure consciousness. You're not defined by your old self anymore. And this, right here, is the most important part. When you stop reliving those same old feelings, you stop leaking your personal energy into the past. It's like plugging a drain. You reclaim all that energy, you call it back to you, and now, finally, you have the raw material, that energy, to actually build a new future.
Okay, let's get into the practical side of things, the actual tools. The book explains that our emotions, they're not just feelings, they're energy, and that energy gets stored in our body. So, to create a new future, we have to learn how to move this energy around.
So check out this diagram from the book. It shows exactly how these specific survival emotions get stored as packets of energy in the body. You see how things like guilt, shame, and unworthiness are down in that second center? And control, competition, ego, that's all in the third. When we're living in stress, all of our creative life force gets trapped right here in these lower centers.
So the entire practice, the whole point of the work, is about making this shift. It's moving from the state on the left to the one on the right. It's all about learning how to move that stuck energy from those lower, selfish centers that just consume it and pull it up into the higher, selfless centers that radiate it out as things like love, gratitude, and wholeness.
Okay, I know. This might all be sounding a little abstract, but what does it actually look like in real life? Well, the book is just packed with documented case studies of people who actually applied these ideas and the results are just astonishing. Let's talk about Jenny. For 2 whole years, she suffered from this debilitating pain. She was on medication, couldn't even care for her kids properly. But then, during one really deep meditation, she felt this connection to a consciousness, something way bigger than herself. And when she opened her eyes and stood up, 2 years of pain completely gone. Or how about Daniel? He was battling chronic pain and fatigue. He committed to the practice, meditating for hours a day,
until he literally reconditioned his body to a new mind. And get this, not only did his symptoms just disappear, but his entire life changed. He now makes more money working just an hour a day than he ever did living in that constant state of stress.
And then you've got Felicia, and she's a medical doctor, so you know she was skeptical. She had suffered from severe eczema her entire life. After just one event, where she really pushed past her body's resistance in meditation, her skin completely cleared up. And her conclusion is so powerful. She says, if a once jaded, intensely analytical doctor could do it, absolutely anyone can.
So you hear all these incredible stories, and you have to wonder, what does this mean for you, for us? The book's final message really brings it all home, making it clear that this kind of potential for transformation isn't just for a few lucky people. Here's the ultimate takeaway. These transformations, they aren't miracles, not in the way we usually think about them anyway. They are the natural, predictable result of ordinary people learning how to access their own extraordinary power. The book's final and most powerful message is that being supernatural is actually your most natural state.
And so, the book leaves us all with one final, lingering question. It really is a direct call to adventure, an invitation to stop letting your past define you, and to start, right now, creating a truly new future. The only question left is, are you ready?